Hey, thanks for tuning in to an all-new episode of Game On. Today is, what is today? I gotta look it up.
Yeah, you gotta look it up. Great.
Saturday, October 7th. Normally we do this on Friday, so it's messed me up. And I'm your host for tonight, Trueflight. And with me is...
Liz.
As always.
Yep.
And we got a good show for you this week. No special guests, but we have a ton of games to talk about. So it's been a while since our last show. Had a bunch of personal stuff going on, and then we took kind of the summer off for a break. So we're back, and lots to go over.
Yes.
If you're interested in being on the show, or have any games or topics you'd like us to talk about, or just get in touch with us, you can do it in a few ways. You can follow me on Twitter. It's Trueflight_EQ2, where I post my thoughts as well as updates on the show. And we still don't have any contact stuff for you, do we?
No, not really. I'm lame, I know. You can just contact this joker. He'll get a hold of me.
There you go. You can also find me on Board Game Geek under the username Ender02. And you can always check out my YouTube channel where I post reviews, gameplay videos, podcast episodes, and more. And that's youtube.com/users/trueflights with an S. Alright, that's all the notes I have for this week.
Yeah, we're just flying it by the seat of our pants this week, folks, so bear with us.
You'd think with all that's going on, we'd have something written down.
Well, we just forgot to write things down, basically, because we were busy with other things.
Well, we did play a bunch of games a couple weeks ago.
We did. I had fun with
I think
that.
it was all those three, right?
Yes, it was those three.
So we'll do this one first, because we played this one first.
Yes.
Let's see. You know, I forgot to turn the screen around, so I can actually see what I'm doing.
That probably would be helpful.
There we go. That helps. So, the first one we got here is Laser Riders, and the camera's at a really weird angle. And it's an awesome, like, 80s themed, kind of Tron-ish game.
And that's a new box, by the way. It just looks beaten up.
Yeah, it looks like it's all weathered along the edges and stuff to make it look like an old VHS box. And then the characters come in these cool trays that actually look like cassette tapes. And inside of each tray, this is really hard to do with the camera being where it is. I'm still going to have to work on the camera, but it's all upside down too, I just noticed. Anyway, each character comes in these little trays. It's got all the templates and everything you need to play in there. And there you go, flip it over.
See, flip it over. Damn helpful.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you basically play the game. It's like a race. There's these little portal tokens that are out on the board, and you're going to be trying to run over them and flip them over to your color. You got to get 3 of them turned to your color to win. And there's a little more to it, but you as you move around, you leave these little like Tron lines behind you, and they're templates very similar to like Attack Wing or X-Wing. And we played it with only 2 players. It was interesting, but I think it'd definitely be more fun with like 4.
It'd be completely chaotic with 4. It'd be awesome.
And if you run into somebody else's line, you wreck and things like that. That's what really makes the game. I did a review video that should have been posted like last week or 2 weeks ago.
You do need plenty of space for it, and you really want a surface where the pieces aren't going to slide around, because it does make it a little more difficult if you're trying to keep the pieces steady while you're placing them.
Yeah, we ended up playing on just a hard tabletop, and things were sliding all over the place. So
we made it work.
But I have somewhere up here, I know you can't see me, so what am I worried about? I have this actual play mat that I used for my Star Trek videos. If I can actually get it on camera. Of course, it's rolled the opposite way I need it.
Of course it is.
And this is going to muffle the microphone, but yeah, it looks like a star field, but it's made of like a felt material, and the templates stick to it. They don't slide, so it works really good for that. And I messed around with it at home, learning how to play using that, and it worked good. So forgot to bring it the day we went and played, of course.
So it was a fun adventure.
Yeah. But yeah, if you have some kind of mat or something that you can play on, it definitely helps. No, this isn't for you.
Any strange comments are directed to the puppy that is now in the part of the household, and who apparently really likes my shoes because they smell like my cat.
And yeah, it was a cool game. I had a few minor complaints. One being these, I don't know if I can get that on there. I'm so far away from the camera too. But the player tokens have these little braces on the sides, and you have to put on the slider that goes back and forth to measure your speed. And I'm always worried that after a while these little brackets are going to break. So I'll have to see how that holds up.
That probably will have a little bit of a wear and tear of it over time because it is just the cardboard.
That, and as I mentioned in my review, that they needed a little tab or something in these trays to hold the templates in place. Because as soon as you stand them up on your end, like you would to store them, everything slides and shifts in there. And as cool as those little trays are, you end up losing the usefulness of them because everything's loose in the box.
I still think it's cool one of the characters is a giant shark.
It's laser shark.
Laser shark. Because that's what everybody needs is a shark with lasers.
There were 4 more characters too in the Kickstarter campaign. They were just additional characters. They came one in each box, but I don't remember who they were. They were exclusives, so didn't get those. But that's a cool one I want to try definitely with more people. But gonna try to do not so many Kickstarter ones now too. That's why we're talking about ones we actually have here. Because I noticed in some of the older videos we did a lot of Kickstarter stuff, and then they're games that don't come out for like a year.
Which makes it a little problematical if you really want to play it right away.
Exactly. So what else did we play? We'll go to this one next. This one's actually pretty cool. Comes in this tiny little bag. It's got the emblem on the end there. And it's actually Space Defenders is the name of the game, but it's actually Space Invaders. Let's see if I can get it right on the camera there.
So they can get around copyright, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I did a video on this too, and this one's a lot of fun. You have these little tokens of
I'll tell you, he's not very good at picking things out.
aliens. Yeah.
Random selection is not his friend.
No, I'm not. Even that time I got 4 4s or 4 2s and a 5. But you're gonna have rows of aliens on there. All this noise in the background here. And you have this little mine that travels around, and you have your pieces down here. And you basically go around and you're going to shoot the aliens up here. You move your guy either forward, backward, left, right, or diagonal, and then you kill the guy up at the top. And then when you kill a whole row, like this row doesn't have anybody in it, these would drop down, and then you put out a new row. And there's a whole bag full of the little alien tokens, and I'm terrible at picking out random ones. I seem to...
Extremely bad.
I think it was the little flying saucers. You have to get both halves of one of these little flying saucers, and they're really far away from the camera.
And he just kept picking out the same half.
Yep, I kept getting the same half, so he had like all 4 of one half sitting up on the side of the table.
So we had like 2 or 3 of them in one row.
Yep.
Because he didn't get the second half until like the very end of the game.
And then you fire the bomb and kill them all.
I know, it was great. I won.
By 1 point.
By 1 point. I managed to win by 1 point. It was awesome.
And this is another one I think that would be better with more players too. It comes with the stuff to play 4-player on there. And I had a lot of fun with that. It's a really simple game too. I like it. It's easy to teach.
Easy to pick up, easy to play, easy to take to just about anywhere because it doesn't require that much space. And everything is all together in a neat package. So it actually make a fairly good game if you're traveling somewhere.
I think so. And it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Especially if you're into classic, like, retro arcade games. What it reminded me. I always wanted to put a quarter on the side to get next game.
Plus the fact that I won, and I rarely win when I'm playing
There you
against
go.
you. So I really liked that game.
I know we're going through these really quick, but I have a ton of stuff I wanted to get to, so... Put that up there. This is the other one that we played that day. And I don't know if it's even going to fit here.
It does.
And this is Attack on Titan, The Last Stand. And this one has a full, like, 1.5 foot tall Titan standee. And then it's a dice push your luck game.
Yes, it is.
And they have some cool components in here. This is why I wanted to set the camera up so we can actually take this stuff out and play with it a little. Put the box over here.
I got to play the massive bad guy.
Yeah, good luck getting that on the actual
I was going to have to say, I'm going to have to lay it flat. I'm going to have to lay it flat. I got to play the bad guy, was really, really fun because he kept yelling at me for taking away his cannons.
Yep. And then you have a handful of hero characters from the show that you can play, and they're probably too far away to see, but you recognize people like Eren and Mikasa, who's terrible. I'm never using her again.
I had fun.
And then everything's done through dice rolling. Yeah, set of dice here. And they're these giant chunky dice too. And that's probably really loud in the mic, I just thought about. But you basically roll the dice. You're trying to roll certain combinations of symbols to activate various abilities and things. Meanwhile, the Titan is playing these... where are they? Everything's in random places.
I thought we put it away fairly well, but we were kind of crunched on time when we did.
And the Titan is using these ability cards they have, which are really small. I gotta mess with the camera more, but so you need to try to counter the ability by matching up symbols with what's on some of those cards, as well as rolling what you need to activate your abilities. And the whole while you got this health meter, and you're trying to get the Titan down into the red, and then there's only a couple different things you can do once they're in the red to actually kill them off. And no matter how many times I got her down into the red, she managed to heal back up and then...
Or knock you down.
Or knock me down, yeah, that was the other one.
One of the nice things about these cards is because of the fact that he has to roll certain things in order to counter the cards, it limits what he can do with the cards that he's got to play. Yeah. So part of the strategy in it, of course, is actually preventing him from using the dice. Which is why sometimes, because when you roll the dice, any of the dice that came heads up as the Titan, I got to keep as the Titan to use towards whatever special abilities that I can unlock for the Titan. So, but sometimes, but if you use them, the other player gets them back to re-roll to see if they can get whatever it is they need to do. So by keeping them, that's another strategy by preventing the other player from making additional moves, which sometimes came in handy.
Yep. And you also, the Titan has their own abilities here. And all of these heads that are on here, they can spend those dice to activate those abilities as well. And it's regeneration and things like that.
Yep, regeneration, eating people, taking away cannons.
Destroying cannons, knocking people down.
Knocking people down.
That's a big thing if you're familiar with Attack on Titan at all. There's little, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, there's little notches on here. There's actual platforms that go on these spots when this is standing up. And in order to actually hurt the Titan, to kill it, you have to hit it in the back of the neck, which there's a platform right here. And every time I climbed all the way up and I got on the back of the neck, she would play an ability, then I would have to waste dice to try to block, otherwise it knocks me down to the ground or back to the building. And yeah, it was a trade-off. I started out really good. Right in the beginning, I got her way down low, and then after that, I just could not. I was constantly trying to climb back up and do something.
It was actually a pretty good strategy because usually what the combinations I would use would be to knock him down, or if he was on the tower where the cannons were, take away cannons. Because there's 3 ways for the Titan to win the game. In order for the players to win, they have to kill the Titan. For the Titan to win, they either have to destroy all the cannons, eat all the people, or kill one of the heroes. And yeah, she just got so mad because I kept taking away his cannons.
Yeah, I was gonna eventually lose. I think I was running out of cannons. So.
And it was the easy mode. So really, if you're playing with multiple people, then you have a better chance of taking down the Titan. But if you're playing with just a couple people, the Titan definitely has a decided advantage, especially on any mode, even easy mode. I think the harder you go, the more you need more people in order to take the Titan down.
Definitely.
If he was any harder, the game wouldn't even last that long. It really wouldn't.
And one thing it kind of glossed over is when you do roll your dice, unlike most games, you can roll these as many times as you want. And I picked a really terrible color because I don't think you can see the yellow on the camera.
Blue probably a good color.
They're all mixed in, but yeah, you can re-roll these dice as many times as you want, trying to get the symbols that you want. In that case, like the cannons there. And the catch is, if you roll the Titan head, you have to give the die to the Titan. And they start collecting those, depending on how many you roll and how many your other players roll. They start getting a lot, and then they can use those to activate their abilities, or just keep them to deny you the dice. And then you end up with only 3 instead of 5, and so on. But
it's a really fun game.
Yeah, it's a neat idea for the fact that you can keep rolling as many times as you want. Like, say you need the grappling hooks are used often to see it on
avoid there? The whole knockdown
to
thing.
Avoid a thing. So you need 2 of those, but you only got 1, and you keep rolling these other dice, and you can keep rolling them and keep rolling them until you get that other one. But every time you roll, there's that chance that you roll those Titan heads and lose yet another die.
And you get to listen to whoever's playing the tackle laugh at you.
So it's an interesting game. Definitely another one. I think most of them I like playing more with more people. So, but I did a full review on that one as well. I think right after we did our game. So
It was a good game.
might have been actually we might have done it right before we played our game because I remember I didn't rant about Mikasa. In case you're wondering, when we played our game, her first attack she did like, I think it was like 6 damage or something. Knocked the Titan way down, and then she was useless the rest of the game.
Pretty much.
She rolled, I think, 5 Titan heads in one roll.
That was awesome. At one point I was sitting with 6 of his dice. And I just said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything right here. I'm sitting pretty. You don't get the dice back.
Yeah, that sucks. And there's also different Titans, too. There's to make them more dangerous. They've got 3 or 4 different levels.
Oh, and one of
We played on easy.
Yeah, we played on easy. And one of the things is, unless you do the special trick, one of the Titan's cards is going to be face down and one's going to be face up. So you have to guess at what you're going to need to block the second card.
Yep, and then there's just a tactic in here that'll blinds the Titan, so you get to see both face up.
I still almost won.
Which is a strategy. Go for that one first if you can.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. If you can get it, you should do it. It will help. It won't save you, but it will help.
My only real thing about this, and I mentioned it in my review video, is that how they left between the legs solid here, but then up here on the arm, this is all cut out. And I worry there's a platform that actually attaches right here to the arm, and I worry about how that arm is going to hold up over time. So far, it's been all right. We'll have to see the more we play it, how it handles it.
It's just something to be careful with.
It was a fun game, though.
Oh, it was an absolute fun game.
Now, we were talking off air a bunch about Star Trek.
Yes.
Because the new Star Trek show came out, the Discovery, the Star Trek spoof show from Seth MacFarlane came out, the Orville, and along those same lines, I got these in backward order here.
He really does have stuff organized back
I
there.
do. This gigantic thing here has become one of my favorite games. You don't realize how big this box is until you actually see one. And you haven't actually got a chance to play it.
Not yet, no.
I played several games with a bunch of my friends. I played one game with my son and my wife, who, oddly enough, my wife managed to win because she just ignored everything else and went straight for the victory condition, which works. But there is a ton of stuff in here, if I can get it open.
It was a very Ferengi move.
Yeah.
Let your
But
enemies...
she was playing Federation.
Oh, she's playing Federation?
Yep. The
Why didn't you tell
Ferengi
me
weren't
once
out
on
yet.
Ferengi?
Yep,
Oh,
they
okay.
weren't out yet when that... But I did a whole review of this a while back, because this game's been out for over a year now. I waited a while to get mine. I was playing a friend's. But there is a ton of stuff in here. There's actually more planet tokens over here, because I have the
Actually,
expansion.
I did play a version of this game a long
did?
time ago.
Hmm.
I did play a version of this game early on. It's probably before you had it.
Maybe.
It was I think it was at Mythic Games.
Might have been. Brett loves it down there.
Yeah,
he
because
plays
I
it all
was
the time.
played a version of it, and it is a lot of fun.
And there's a ton of crap in here. I'm not going to get it all out. It comes with these cool models, though, wherever they are. They're all buried in here. There's the Ferengi ships.
Awesome.
And I know they're not going to be able to see this on camera because they're still in the bags and small, but that's all the Ferengi stuff. Those are Romulans. And I started doing to this because I'm going to get rid of this plastic insert because once there's 2 new expansions that came out. There's the Ferengi Alliance and the Cardassian Union. And they added so much extra stuff to the game that it really doesn't all fit in here anymore, which is why all these planet tokens are down here. Because the planet tokens go up in this corner and they don't actually fit anymore because there's too many. So I ordered a bunch of these. And I showed it quick in one of my reviews. I think it was the Cardassian one, but these were from the Star Trek collectible card game. And they were faction-themed deck boxes. But they work perfect for holding everything you need to play a race. You got your star bases and fleets in there. There's your ships. all the starting tokens you need and your starting resources. And we got our train.
The train is not included with the game.
And you got your advancement deck in there. I don't know if I can get the rest out with one hand. But you got your starting planet token. Our fleet tokens are in there, and it's the reference card for the turn phases, and then our trade agreements. So everything fits nicely right in those. And I have the rest of them on order right now. I had to get somebody to send them to me because they're hard to find because the game's out of print. But these will work perfect. They fit right in the original box when you take this insert out, so I can line up all the playable races down the side. And then I'm going to make a little holder for the planet tokens. And yeah, in case you didn't know, the boxes that the expansions actually come in are ginormous for expansions. They're the same width as the regular box, and I think the two of them together are probably just as taller.
Yeah, slightly taller.
So rather than lug these around every time you go to a store or something to play, these little boxes are going to be so much better in the long run.
In the long run.
But yeah, this is a great game. It just takes forever to play. Is my only complaint about it. It's another one where it's a little fiddly too if you don't have like the play mat to play on because the things tend to slide. But you end up with the planets all over, and then there's these trade lanes here. And of course they're in bags, but these little trade lane segments you use to connect the planets. And you end up with a huge star system by the time you're done. Maybe I'll throw a picture in there of one of our games. And all of the interconnecting planets. And every time you explore a new planet, there's a deck you draw a card from. And it can be anything from an unknown planet with, you know, it's vacant. You can just move in, to having a civilization on it already, to running into the Doomsday Machine. All sorts of fun stuff. And then each race has these cool thematic dashboards. There's the Romulans here. And you can keep track of your weapon power and shield power. But I've had a lot of fun with that game. It does take a while. It can play up to 5 players now. And there's a Borg expansion coming soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll definitely play it with you when the Borg comes out.
Definitely. We'll plan on that.
If not before then. But it does take a long time to play. That's the only thing. We figure at minimum maybe an hour a player.
So the more people you get, the longer the game's going to last.
But it's so much fun, though. Especially once you get into it, because then you got to make negotiations, especially with the Ferengi. The last game I played, I wanted to play the Cardassians because they're my favorite race. And so did another new guy that was there playing. So we decided to let him have them. Actually, we drew for it and I lost. But I like to say
you like to say you decided. You were generous.
So I ended up going with the Klingons. And he got a random draw card. He explored the system. You flip one of these systems over, and it is near his home world. And the card that came up was one of my Klingon ships was randomly found in that system. Which, in this game, you have to meet another race to do any kind of trading or make any agreements or things with them. So it worked out great because we're both right there, right off the bat. You don't have to go out and explore. We're right there. We're already knit together. We can make an agreement. He opened fire and blew up my ship.
Wow. That is just such a great way to make friends.
So right off the bat, the Klingons and Cardassians were pretty much at war. And the other player in our game, because we were only playing 3-player, was Ferengi. So, of course, they made the most of it. They made alliances with both of us and they ended up walking away with the victory because the Klingons and Cardassians were going at it so much. I built entire fleets and just sent them over to Cardassian space to annex planets.
Very Ferengi move.
Yep. And then once the Klingons were provoked, we weren't about to back down.
Of course not.
So we hunted down the Cardassians. And yep. So
honor was at stake.
Yeah, we made a trade agreement with the Ferengis to get more powerful weapons. Who then the Ferengi went and made a trade agreement with the Cardassians. Because war is good for business.
Exactly. That's probably one of the rules of acquisition. I don't remember which one it is.
Yes, it is, and that's actually one of their upgrade cards. The Ferengi have,
is not surprising.
Instead of the advancement cards, Ferengi have rules of acquisition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there is one in there, that war is good for business.
That makes very good sense.
And yeah, he just completely dominated and walked away because while we were busy killing each other, he was just off raking in the resources. But yeah, each turn is supposed to represent about a decade in development, which is why the game takes so long. That's why I tell people. Because you're starting out as it's basically your race just when they started leaving their planet. So the only system you control is your home world. And then each turn you expand out and you get new worlds and you get more resources coming in. And as my wife said, she says, how do I win? And the easiest way to win is the culture nodes, which are these ones, which, again, they're in the bag. You probably can't see too well, but you need, I want to say, I'm going to mess this up because I'm on camera. I think it's 5 culture tokens to equal 1 of the ascendancy tokens. You need 5 ascendancy tokens to win the game.
Wow.
But you also need those for other things, like building more culture nodes cost them. So it's kind of a engine building game, because as you discover each system, you have to colonize it, and then you have to build these factories and things on there in order to generate the resources. It always takes you 2 or 3 turns to get back what you paid for the resource. So if you want to build a culture node, I think it takes 2 culture and 1 production. So then it's going to be another 2 turns after that before you make back the culture that you spent to get that. But every turn thereafter, you're making 1 additional culture every turn. So, but yeah, we explained that to my wife. That's how you win the game, and she went out and just kicked our butts because that's all she did was found. She got really lucky because you can only build what shows up on the planets you pick. Like in this case, and I know they can't see it, but you have an open one, so you can build anything you want. You have a production and a research. So you can build 1 production, 1 research, and then 1 whatever. So you can put a culture on there. She kept getting ones that either had multiple blanks or multiple culture. So before we realized that she had like 5 culture nodes and she was just racking it in every turn.
Nice.
So we had to send everything we had over to stop her. We almost stopped her on the last turn. I actually took over Earth. She only had 1 planet left with 1 ship in orbit. Excuse me, and I think 1 other ship off in space somewhere. And, yeah, we almost got her.
She's smart and devious.
And the other way to win is to conquer, you have to control 3 homeworld systems, one of which has to be your own.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go out and conquer 2 other races, you can win that way too. But almost always the game comes down to ascendancy, which is fine. That's the name of the game. But, yeah, I love that game. A lot to it. Tons of cool stuff. Ginormous box.
Basically, I should plan a day where I don't have to worry about anything else and we can play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I will keep
Especially
that in
if we
mind.
got more players.
I will keep that in mind.
It's heavy, too.
That's why I'm letting him do all the lifting.
I think I can put it up there. I'm trying to put on my back as we do this. They go on the shelf behind me and I can't reach.
He's actually pretty good at keeping them organized, which is nice.
I had them all in a nice, neat organization, and then I ripped them all down for the show. I can just go in there for now. Alright, and while we're on the Star Trek note, gotta go to this one too. Because this game is hysterical. This is a new one. I played the print and play of this long time ago. And they recently, AEG bought this and put it into production as a full-fledged box set. I'm still trying to put things away in the background here. It's The Captain is Dead. And this is another Star Trek spoof game. You gotta go through a bunch of layers here to get to it.
I noticed.
That's the actual game board. And this one takes place on a ship. They post it as the last 10 minutes of your favorite sci-fi TV show when everything's gone wrong. And this center section's like the interior of your ship. You have the different rooms. And it's really neat how they've done it. All these arrows point to the room that you need to be in to use these different things. And they're all the way around the outside here. And the idea is that you need to fix your warp core and get out of there before the ship gets destroyed. And the whole time you're being attacked by aliens. The ship's getting shot at. Systems are failing. Shields go down. The enemies start beaming on board, and then you have to deal with all of that as well. And I think I flipped the box over at one point. But it has these awesome player pawns. And I know they're not going to show up on the camera because they're so tiny from that angle, but I showed them in the review video. They're these acrylic stands with the various characters, and they're color-coded to their job class. It's like your blue is command. I don't remember what the white guys are. Ensigns, I think. And you have tactical, that's an engineer. Red is tactical. Wherever they are. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Red might be security. They don't exactly follow the colors in Star Trek, so it messes me up. There's purple guys for medical. There's an admiral. And then they have the smoky black bases that are the aliens. And depending on where you go in the ship and what you activate to do, there's different things that come up. You can use these battle plans that give you bonuses, but they're one-time use. There's torpedoes, which are in these little sections here. Actual torpedoes. And you can fire those at the enemy ships and blow them up. And you only have a limited amount of those, though, so you have to build more. And then there's red, yellow, and what's the other one? Orange alert cards in there. And they go through, basically, as the game progresses, things get worse and worse. And there's a ton of different characters to choose from, too. I think there's almost 3 of every class. I think they're missing like 1 or 2, which came out in an expansion. If they do the expansions for this, it'll be awesome. But the base game alone is pretty fun. The only real drawback to it is that the same strategies tend to work regardless of what characters you're playing. So a lot of the game can feel the same every time. But if you're with the right people and having fun, you don't notice. And you can also choose random crew to make things. Like you can use the admiral and the first officer and things like that. The game's going to be well, you don't want 2 of the same class. It works best if you have multiple classes. But you can pick and choose a specific set of guys that's going to work great. The chief engineer, the chief of security, the admiral. They're a great team together. Or if you really want to go out and make the game just screwy and difficult, you can go with the janitor and things like that, because who doesn't want to see the janitor fix the warp core? And so there's that kind of built-in variety as well. If somebody's a veteran, has played a lot of games, you can give them a weaker character to play. My favorite is the hologram. There's actually a holographic crewman, kind of like the Doctor from Voyager, and he's a great crewman. He has such great abilities, but every time the computer goes down, so does he. And the computer's down a lot. So 90% of the time, whoever's playing that character can't even do anything.
Because you really need an engineer with a hologram in order to keep
Yeah,
him
because
going.
you have to keep the computers online or he's useless. But when he's online, he's a great character. And then there's a little upgrades you can buy for the ship in here. Some of these are the basic systems. They have an online and an offline mode. So when they go offline, it tells you on here what you need to do to bring them back online. And I thought the upgrades were in here too. There's the upgrades. These are extra systems you can actually purchase and research to add to your ship. Some of those are cool. And then the normal skill cards. This is how you do everything. There's these skill cards with different skills on the back, as well as each of the characters, depending on their class and things, get some of those for free. So they basically discount when you have a system here like this would take 2 engineer. Still don't know if you can see those, but 2 engineer, and I can't remember what the other symbol is there. Instead of having to have those cards, if you have an engineer, they basically get one of those engineer symbols for free, so you only need 1. And then they're on the cards here. I could have looked up and saw what that other one was. But it's a fun game. It plays pretty quick. Things can get very hectic, especially in the final turns. There is the one downside where sometimes you get just a terrible run and you know early on that you're going to lose. And you just reset and play another one. But
it works.
But I love the look of this over the old print and play.
They are very, very cute. I mean, I know it's hard to see here, but they're very detailed.
The only complaint I really have is the old original game. These were made on weird shaped... I don't know if you can see because they need something behind it. They had... the tokens were like oval shaped, and the artwork kind of represented that. They weren't squared off like these, so a lot of the guys are cut off on the edges. Some are really bad. There's a couple that people complained and actually wrote into the company, and they're like, "Hey, is this supposed to be like this?" And
some of them just barely fit inside the frame, but others they come up right to the edge, and you can tell that part of it just cut off.
Yeah, so they are fine though. They serve the purpose they were intended for. There's a scientist, a little hologram with him, and I think he's the hologram. Yeah, he's actually got the emitter on the bottom.
Ah, okay.
Now, one of these guys, he might be the janitor.
Which?
Or I think he's the ensign. There's another white one somewhere. Not that they can see.
We're having fun looking.
They can't even see what we're looking at. So.
Okay, it's weird.
I'll try to stick some close-up pictures of the characters in there.
I mean, they're very cool.
They are, and the game looks great on the table. All the colors, when you get the board out, everything's bright and colorful. And the couple times I have played this at the shop, people always walk over and they're like, "What is that?" Everybody wants to see what it is. And you notice the resemblance to Star Trek immediately. She's another one that's kind of cut off. Her whole leg's missing.
Yep, I see that.
But we'll definitely have to play this one with you.
Yes, definitely. Looks like fun.
I even have the sound effects on my phone.
We can go.
I mean, you can't play this game without the sound effects. When the yellow alert and the red alert cards come up, you have to have the sound effects.
Okay, we're going to have to go back there and play this. I'm sure people will come over and check it out, especially when you start doing sound effects.
Yes, you have to have red alert sound effects are a must. Firing the torpedoes. You have to have sound effects for all of that.
Affirmative.
Excellent.
But, yeah, that one's fun, and definitely an improvement over the old print and play game. And I really hope that it does well enough that they're going to put out the expansions, because there was a couple expansions to this game for the print and play. Not that you couldn't use the print and play ones. If you're going to sleeve your cards and put them, you could mix the cards and stuff from the print and play ones right in here, and I don't think anybody would notice. I'll have to say, just for reference, yeah, these are the characters you can choose from. And there is a lot of them. And I know you can't read them and they're upside down even if you could, but it's just giving you an idea of the variety of characters there. And you play 3 or 4 of these. I think it plays up to 7 players, I want to say. So even then, the different combinations you can put together each game and have completely different games. And then on the back here, it has a little cheat sheet of all the actions you can do. So you don't have to look it up each time.
That's handy.
Although you're rarely ever going to do the actions on the back of here. You almost always end up doing the actions that are on these various systems for the ship. They end up being what you're doing most. And there's your jump core. Yeah, the difficulty level of the game can go from cowardice all the way up to insane. And then the other side of the board, I think, is your shields. This is how you keep track of the shields. There's a little marker somewhere in the box that goes on here, and it slides down. If it ever gets to 0, your ship blows up, and everybody dies.
Game over.
And you have to have the sound effects for that, too.
Of course.
The guy going, "Game over, man! Game..." Oh, wait, wrong franchise. Close enough. But anyway, yeah, that one's a lot of fun. And definitely want to get into playing that more. So I got all these cool games. I got to get people to learn how to play, and then once they learn, everybody loves playing them. Like Ascendancy. We taught like 4 people how to play it, and those same 4 people play every time we play now because they're like, "Yeah, I want to play again." So. But yeah, that's The Captain is Dead. I'm just glad I got my hands on this. This thing's hard to get a hold of. It goes up here somewhere.
Well, he reorganizes all his books.
Well, there's a big hole missing where there's supposed to be some other games in there, and they're off to the side right now.
Well, the fun part of coming over here is this new 2 bookcases just full of different games to play.
I've showed those in the background of videos before.
They're awesome.
Alright, the other new one I wanted to go over, and then we can get into some other stuff, is these. These are basically all the same game. That's the funny part. start with. And I did videos of all of these, which will be coming out soon on the channel. Crossmaster Arena. If you're not born under a rock like we were, you probably heard of this years ago because it came out in like 2012. And it's a arena-style combat game made mostly for a one-player versus one-player. It's a two-player game. You can play it 3-player, 4-player, but it's basically based on a 2-player game. If you're going to do more, it's probably best to do like 2v2 instead of trying to do like a 4-player free-for-all. But it's probably get a better view of the game on the box than I could give you. Of course, it's too far away. You definitely got to fix the camera next time. But you set up this board. Actually, we'll get it up. That's what we got the camera for anyway.
Exactly.
It's going to be a mess in here because I was messing with it the other day. The board is really cool too and colorful. So there's our board. And it has all kinds of cool little things on there. They have these emblems and stuff on the map for where you're actually supposed to place things. So you can set the game up really quick. Comes with these awesome scenery. They're all 3D cardboard. And then there's, down in the bottom here, there's trees that go up. So you can populate the board and set it up the way it's supposed to be really quick by just matching up the icons, which is cool. And then they have these coins, which are kind of hard to pick up, but there's these tiny little coins, and they go on all these spots that have coins. And you can pick up the coins, and you go to these little demon head faces on the board, and you can go there, and there's a store you can buy upgrades from. But the big thing for the game are the miniatures, and I went over them a lot in the... and something just fell off of him. His arm came off.
Uh-oh.
I did buy this one used.
Now he's armless.
No, you just gotta fix him. I bought this one used, so I can't knock it. But, you have your little figures here, and they're amazing pre-painted guys. They're pretty big, too. They're like 2 inches tall. And, there are 4 come in the base, or 8, sorry. 8 come in the base game, and then I have 4 extras that the guy sent me with this one, and then I have a couple other games, which we'll get to. But, it's a really simple game to play and learn. And, you have these cards. Each character has a card. It's got their artwork on the back and all their stats on the front. And they're going to be way too small for you to read on camera. But for your reference, on the top corner here, this is their level.
Gotcha.
You get 12 levels to build your team. So the base set comes with everybody's level 3. So you get 4 guys. And then over here you have your initiative. The higher that number, the faster they go. And the higher your team total decides who goes first. Then you have your movement, your hit points, and your ability points. And then you can do your movement in any combination. So you can move a space, attack, finish your movement. You can sit still, attack, and then move. You don't even have to move if you don't want to. But then your attacks are down here on these next lines. And they have different symbols. In this case, that's your means it needs a line of sight. Kind of like an eyeball-looking symbol. And then it has range 1 to 5. And that's how many spaces away. You can't count diagonal, so like diagonal space is actually 2, because you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go diagonal. But, and then over here is how much it costs you to use that ability. So in this case it's 5, so he only has 6, so he can only do it once. And then it does 1 fire damage. The elements really don't matter until people start getting resistance to certain elements. But then the real cool thing about this is every ability that a guy has does the damage that it says it does. So unlike a lot of games where you're rolling handfuls of dice, this one you really don't. So this is going to do 1 damage, where you always get 1 extra die. And there's different symbols on there. And ideally you want to roll the critical. The critical symbol gives you +1 damage.
Gotcha.
And then this guy's special. He has the critical hit ability, which allows him to actually roll a 2nd die.
Cool.
So, and that's a cool icon on there. You get to choose if you want the which of those 2 symbols you want. And defense is done the same way. Everybody gets 1 die for defense, and if they have the armor ability, they get an additional die. So there isn't a ton of luck, but there's a little bit in there, so you can it basically gives a guy who only has 1 damage a chance to hurt somebody
Right.
who might have a defense. Somebody with armor is rolling 2 dice for defense every time. That 1 damage might not hit them, but if you roll a critical, now you're doing 2, the chances of them blocking both. And then there's the store, like I was saying, has these little tokens. They match the symbol that's on the board there. And it says how much you need to pay to buy them right on top. So it costs 3. And you get various items. Some are 1 use, some are things you can use for the entire game. And the real cool thing about these is they start in a big stack on the side of the board. And after the first turn's over, you flip one over. And you go down, there's a bunch of different ones of different values. And then later you flip a second one over. So you can either buy one of these 2, knowing full well what they are, or you can always buy the one off the top of there and you have no idea what you're getting. And then there's in the base set, there's a 3, a 6. I better look, because they changed the prices on them. So it's going to confuse me. There's a 3, a 6, and I want to say 12 in this set. Yep, 12. So in this set, there are 3, 6, and 12. They did make a new version of this, which I also have over here, because they updated a few rules and things and changed some of this. Let's throw this back in here. Not that it'll ever fit back in here. Surprisingly, it actually fits in here well, but I have those 4 extra characters in here that didn't come with this set. So they kind of take up a little bit more room.
And armlets we're going to leave out so you can fix them later.
Yeah, I got to glue him later. Saying how good the miniatures are and how durable they are, and then I break one. Again, those were used ones, so he could have already been cracked or something. The paint jobs on them are what strike me the best. They're pre-painted. Normally,
temporary fix, he can stand over here and grab
normally you have to paint all that stuff yourself, and I despise painting figures. So, all this mess. Oh yeah, and the extra characters that you buy come in these little packs. You can either get them as a blind booster, just a little box, you have no idea what you're getting, and it's like random, or you get ones that come in like a set of 4 guys, and they're all pre-packaged, so you know who you're gonna get. And they come with these cool little maps. That's actually a small scenario, a little standalone one, and they're double-sided, so there's one on the back too. And I hit the microphone again.
You're very good at that.
I keep doing that. But yeah, so they're double-sided, so you get 2 new little scenarios to play. Those are kind of neat too. But, seeing these go right here, this is what, now that I filled the hole in with other games, they go here. And then they replaced that with this one, which is the new 2.0 version. Same exact game in there, updated rule book, new map, new characters, and a couple new pieces of scenery. But the cool part is everything in here is compatible with the old one. Everything in the old one is compatible with this.
Awesome.
That's the same with all the expansions and things. And there's an online component too. There's a video game on Steam, and I think you can do it through their web browser too. And it's the exact same as the 2.0, I believe it goes by the new rules. But it has all the same characters in it. And whenever you buy one of these games or any of the expansion characters, they come with a code so you can unlock the characters in the game as well, which is really cool. We actually found it's easier to learn how to play this game through the computer as well. Because for like movement and things, it'll tell you exactly how many spaces you can move, what abilities you can use, what their ranges are. So you don't have to try to figure all that out from reading the cards. It all does it for you.
Oh, nice.
And so it's a really nice way to learn how to play the game. And then, lastly, then we'll get off of these.
I'm having fun learning.
This other gigantic box is Crossmaster Quest, which is very, I don't know how to say it. It's a very different game. This one is actually a RPG type game, plays just like an MMO, and uses any of the characters that come with it, comes with its own handful, as well as any of the characters from the other Crossmaster games. So, and just to give you an idea, this came with this as well. And it's a little flyer, and yeah, it's not going to show up. But it shows all the different games. There's even a junior version. and that they're all cross-compatible. There's your boosters. There's the box set you can get. And on the back lists a ton of the different characters from Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and a couple of the extra expansions. Any of these guys can be used in any of these games, which is, I think, is really cool.
That is a good thing. I like it when games allow you to mix and match.
And some people are turned off by the artwork because of the chibi style. Everybody thinks it's a childish game, but I like it.
See, the advantage of being an adult is being able to be childlike.
There you go. But this game is completely different than the other two in that it plays by the same basic rules. Combat's done the same. The characters have the same leveling. Yeah, there's a lot more scenery in this one. I glued all my scenery together because it's a pain to assemble and disassemble, but by doing it, it doesn't fit back in the box exactly.
Trade-offs.
This one has a scenario book because, like I said, it's more of an RPG type game, so you have scenarios that you can go through. There's our rule book, and there's a bunch of other odds and ends here we don't want to get into. This is where the game gets totally different. Is instead of just having your character in front of you, now you're going to have this whole dashboard. And this is basically your character inventory from a video game. And your character card goes on here. And I don't have the pieces to get out. I should get them out. But these are the map tiles, too. It comes with a ton of map tiles, but they're really thin. It was kind of disappointing, but you can always make a different map every time because there's so many. And I'm not going to get out all the right sizes of these because that's just a pain, but just to show you here. So you have your player dashboard with your character on there. Well, all of your abilities here are going to be locked by paywall because we all know how people love paywalls in video games. Now, granted, they're not going to all be these little ones. You're going to there's different sizes of these to cover the exact text boxes. But then you have your inventory over here. This is your equipment, and your wallet down here is where you put your money. Up here, you keep track of your levels. The idea is to get all the way to the max level. If you get to the end there, that's what wins the game. And you can play this with any character. So you start with, this one's a level 3 character. So you actually start at 6 here, and then you go down depending on what level you are. So this one's a level 3. We're actually going to start here. They're marked on there. I'm sure you can't read it on the camera, but that way, if you play a more powerful character, so if you play some of the guys that are 5s or 6s, you're going to start lower because your guy's more powerful to begin with.
Gotcha.
So it makes it harder to catch up.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, so if you're playing a weaker character, you know, a level 6 character will start all the way down here. A level 1 character will start all the way up here. So level 1 character only has to go from here up to win, where a level 6 has to go from there up. So it compensates for them being more powerful. But then throughout the course of the game, you're going to get equipment that goes in here. This is your basically your bag space. And just like any good MMO, when you run out of bag space, well, for a couple bucks here, you can buy more bag space. And so on, so you can extend that. And it's just a really interesting mechanic. It's a little fiddly that the pieces are very small, especially the resources and things you have to harvest. But the same goes for your character. As you play, you can unlock new and more powerful abilities by paying the money. And this is not working because they're sliding off, but you get the idea. So you can unlock these and slide it down, and then you open up new abilities that you can play throughout the course of your adventure. And so that part alone makes it really cool, but the whole point of this game is there's small, well, you pick a storyline that you're going to do, and then there's small quests you have to kill, complete along the way. Some of them are kill X amount of monsters. Some of them are harvest these items. And you'll have a city section of the map where you can go craft stuff. There's crafting station things, but you can't do any combat in the city part. And then there's the outdoor part where you can do all your combat stuff, but you can't craft anything. So
it's basically a board version of an MMO.
Yep, so you'll have to go out into the world, adventure. You need to get the supplies you need, bring them back to town to craft the items you need. All the monsters in this, except for the bosses, are done by little POG tokens, which was kind of a letdown. But with the amount of stuff that's in here, the game would have cost a fortune if they made models for everything.
This is true.
But they did make a model for the 2 bosses. You have the... if I can get them out of there. I got big fingers. The King of Tofu.
King of Tofu.
Tofu is in the world that this is set in. It's set in a French animated show called Wakfu, and there's Doofus.
Nice.
I don't speak French, and they're based on characters from those worlds, though. So tofus are actually like these little birds. They kind of remind me of like baby chocobos, and they're adorable. But he's the king of tofus.
He looks pretty angry.
Now we're knocking stuff over. And then the other guy is the king of Gabals. I'm never going to get that one right either. Which are, as far as I can tell, are a sheep-like creature. Did I say it right? He's nodding at me over there. That's a tofu. He brought up pictures of tofus.
Nice. They're cute they're even cute when they're angry.
Yep, and he's cool because he can summon more of them. He summons extras. And these guys, again, can also be used in the other game. They come with their own cards. They're here somewhere.
Oh, cool.
Yep, right there.
I see it.
And he has the ability to summon tofu.
Nice.
Or is he loading up the game? Oh, I thought you were. But yeah, there's such a ton of variety. And again, in this one, there's a ton of, I'm not going to get them all out, but there's a ton more scenery pieces down there. And it also has another store where you can go buy, which I think are over here somewhere. This is the part that I loved. This game comes with so many little tokens and pieces, and they gave you trays to put them in. Like most games don't, so then you're scrounging for like Ziploc bags to try to pack everything.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, that is a lot of tokens, too.
It is. But at least it's like organized, so you don't have to.
Yep.
You sort them out at the end.
The only drawback is they don't give you anything that tells you what to put in what spaces. I had to go online and find that. And the one I found really is helpful because as you're playing the game, you're going to choose whether you want to fight against the Gawals or the Tofu. And depending on what you choose, one of these trays has all the rewards and stuff you need for Gabal, and the other one has all the stuff you need for Tofu. And there's a few different things, like this one has health tokens, things like that you're going to need regardless. But the majority of everything's in one tray or another that way.
That's nice.
And then, yeah, these are what I was talking about. They're not going to be able to see them, but these are the resource tokens you pick up. See how small they are?
Gotcha.
So very fiddly to pick up. But they're made so you can put them on the character sheets, and they fill up your inventory. There's more on here as well. And these are all the bad guys, these round POG tokens. But it is a cool game. There's just a lot of little fiddly parts to it. It takes up a lot of space. And you got to find the right group of people to play with it. But anybody who likes an MMO and is into board games is going to like it. It definitely feels like the MMO. And if you build up enough power and stuff, you can even go down into a dungeon and find bigger bosses.
Nice.
There's mini bosses and things. And it's different every time you play because you actually build the map as you go. So you start with a couple of these in play as your city. And they have your stores and workbenches and things. And then you add one of these here, and then you're going to add another one over here, and then you're going to add, another one off the side as you explore, and that opens up more places to go and more things to do. These little footprints on here are where the mobs spawn. And then the other things, like that's a tree goes there. These are the demon stores. And then there's different maps, depending on if you're playing against the Gabal or the Tofu. The Tofu have like hay bales and bird nest type things, where the Gabal are like sheep. They're in open fields. Kind of neat.
I like it.
There's a lot to it. Setup and tear down of this one's a bit rough though, because there is so much to it. Oh, and there's a store too, where things come available. And the different like harvesting materials, I'll have markers on here, and depending on what goes on throughout the course of the game, the values of them will go up or down. So you can harvest a bunch of stuff and then go sell it if you wanted to buy certain things. Also, on these locations here, there's a couple of weapons here, equipment there, and I don't remember what goes in those ones. I don't remember what they're called anyway, but they don't go face up, they go face down in this game, and on the back they have components in order to build them. So in order to build a new weapon, you might need metal ore and wood for a handle. So it'll actually say you need 2 metal ore and a wood. So you have to go get those items in order to craft those things. So it's a cool little aspect there too. So the game's always different every time you play, and that's the real cool thing about it. And then that's your actual quest. Your mission that you're actually working on goes down here, and then the different adventures or quests, I can't remember what the term they use for it, the cards that come up along the way that say, hey, you need to do this amount of things, and there's different ones. Some say like kill 10, well, not even 10, but that's the generic one for MMOs, kill 10 snakes. In this, it's kill kill one of each of these 3 mobs, and I'll have pictures of the mobs, and you have to kill each to go on. There's other ones that are called journeys, which are first you have to collect 5 coins, then you need to kill one of these, then you need to harvest this, and you have to do those in order, and they have a little path with a line you got to follow. But a lot of cool stuff in there. I can't wait to play that one. I messed around and there's a cool tutorial scenario to learn the basics, and I played through that, and I can't wait to play more. But I love the fact that the characters can be used in all the games too. That's the big kicker. So I rambled on enough about those.
They're very cool. I like it.
Oh, and these are representations of the bosses. See, that's the King of Tofu, and that's the entrance to his dungeon.
Ah.
Same with this guy is the King of Gabals, and the entrance to his dungeon on there. Haven't gotten that far yet. They didn't use those in the tutorial, but I know what they are. And that is another ginormous box too, though.
You have a lot of big boxes.
Up there. Like so. Everything has a place.
Very organized.
That was all the stuff I wanted to get over.
Oops.
Right off the bat there.
Forgot to put those back in the box. Oh well.
I have no idea where I had these. This was up on top.
Alright.
But that's everything I wanted to go over there, so. Well, do you have any games you wanted to talk about?
Not particularly. I played the games with you. The other games I've really been playing is MMO Online, which is Guild Wars 2, which came out with a new expansion, which I've had a lot of fun with because you get to ride around on a Velociraptor, and then you get to ride around on a rabbit to jump places, and then you get to ride around on different things, and that was a new part of the expansion along with the story quest.
Stupid thing.
And the computer's being silly over here.
Yeah, it wants me to update, and I'm not going to update today.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And what's neat about Guild Wars 2 is it used to be divided into, if you were in the US, you could only play on a US server. And they've changed it, so you can actually go play on a European server, which is fun too, because I've got a lot of friends that play on the
So now I can get insulted in languages I don't know.
Well, it all shows up to you in your language. So, but colloquialisms can be different from culture to culture.
Yeah.
Like, I really confused someone once by telling them the date, and they wrote down the wrong date because over there they would put the day first and then the month.
They do it properly. They go from smallest to largest instead of us weird Americans.
Yeah, so I managed to confuse them because I put the month.
They were
first
trying to figure out what the
day.
25th month was.
No, because I put 10 first.
Oh.
So.
Right.
You got confusing. We worked it out.
The best confusing story I have to talk about that I always bring up with that is back when I used to play Mech Warrior. Before my wife started playing, when I was just playing, I played for a team in Britain. And so it was all British guys, and then me, and I think we had one Australian guy. And she come walking in the room one day. We used voice comms to talk to each other, and just out of the blue, the one guy said, we were in the middle of a practice session. The one guy said he'd be gone, or he'd be back in just a minute. He had to step outside and blow a fag. And the way my wife just stopped and turned and looked at me, I'm like, he's British. He's going out to smoke a cigarette. Oh. So, yeah. Differences in language are great.
It definitely can lead to some interesting conversations.
So, I've been playing Star Trek Online a lot more. Got back into that. They added some new stuff. Nothing spectacular, though. I was kind of disappointed with the last new additions to the story. But they got Geordi back.
That's good.
So he's doing voiceovers for him now.
Well, what I like about the new expansion for Guild Wars 2 is I'm actually afraid of heights to the extent that you'll know it's a really good graphic game when the heights in the game start freaking me out. And the heights in the last expansion, there were a lot of them because the inclusion for that expansion were gliders. So there were a lot of really high places you got to get to, which freaked me out to no end. But in this game, since the main theme are mounts, you're doing a lot of running around, and you're doing the high places you're jumping to is like you use the rabbit mount for that.
Can you use the old mounts or the mounts in the old zones?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
What's nice is once you've unlocked like with the other expansion, once you unlock the glider, you can use the glider on your other characters in the other zones.
Shows how long it's been since I played Guild Wars 2.
So it's the same thing with the mounts. And once you've unlocked the mount, you can unlock it for the other characters can use the same thing. It's called the mastery system.
Cool.
And so you can run down through
I still
city
play
on a giant
EverQuest.
rabbit.
I still play EverQuest 2. I'm old school.
That's okay. I haven't played that in a long time, but I've been enjoying that. And like I've gotten up to the third mount, which a skimmer, which actually kind of skims above, which is good because there's some areas in the one zones. Because each zone will have areas that only the mount can unlock. So the skimmer you're needed in the desert area because there's quicksand and stuff, and if you don't have the skimmer, you're going to get sucked down into it and die. So
Makes sense.
the last one I have to unlock is the jackal, which will be pretty cool because you can get to go through some portal things for it.
What does he do? Laugh?
There's some portal thing.
Wait, that's a hyena.
You need the jackal to go through the portal thing.
Jackal's the guy that plays music with the chainsaw.
Well, jackal's also related to, I believe, if you're going into mythology, Anubis was a jackal-headed god, the god of the dead.
You know I have to put a clip in there of Jackal playing music on a chainsaw now.
Yes, you do. You totally do. But, so, I haven't gotten that far yet. The skimmers look really cool. It's kind of like a weird version of an elongated manta ray.
Reminds me of the skimmer, or the, what were they called? Gliders in EQ2.
Might be somewhat similar.
They have some weird ones now.
Yeah. But, but the raptor, the raptor route, it's a lot of fun because it's a velociraptor, so you're running around. You're riding around on a giant velociraptor. He jumps, like, forward. The rabbit jumps up.
In EQ2 too.
The rabbit jumps up, and the skimmer will float above things. It actually gets a speed boost if you're going over water.
Do they have any flying ones?
The skimmer is the closest thing too. But you can.
They haven't
hang
jumped
glide.
that shark yet. Huh?
Well, the hang glide.
Well, no, but the actual flying.
Ones that they have in
Yeah.
EQ2. No,
they
they
added
don't have
that. Well, the problem is it ruined a lot of the older zones because now you can just fly over everything instead of having to fight your way through. So.
Well, that's actually a nice thing about jumping puzzles in the old zones. If you're like me and afraid of heights, the bunny one is actually really nice because you get to the point where it reduces falling damage. So if you miss your target, you're not really taking damage.
Nice.
So and you can actually extend the mastery to all of your mounts if you get that far in it. So no matter what you're on, if you take a tumble off of something, you're not gonna die.
So, you know, I cheat on the jumping puzzles in WildStar. That's the other one we've been playing a little bit. I haven't played as much. We played for a while, but
I am really bad at jumping puzzles again because of
I
the whole
cheat
height problem.
I cheat in WildStar because if you can get all the way to the top of where you need to be and put a portal, you can go back to the bottom and teleport back up. So there's a thing you can get and you put it in your house and it's like a timed jumping puzzle. You have to get from the bottom to the top in a certain amount of time and you get a reward and you can do it like once a day. So I climb to the top, you have unlimited time to do it, put the portal up there, jump down, start the climber, and then just teleport to the top.
That's like having a mesmer because
Yeah, because
mesmers
we used
have
to do
portals.
it. Yeah, we used to do it with mesmers to get by jumping puzzles and Guild Wars.
I cannot tell you how many times I am grateful for mesmers out there that will put down portals to help me get places, or I can use the teleport orb if someone will get me places just because I can't get to it because I'm too freaked out by the actual process of getting there. I'm very lucky that there are people out there that are willing to be kind.
And then we've been playing a lot of racing games too. I blame my son. He got me back into Forza, which I didn't think I was going to play anymore, but I've been playing Forza Horizon 3.
Well, he's over there playing Minecraft, so.
Well, yeah.
You know, I've never actually played that game.
I have never played it either. I've seen people play it.
It looks like fun.
All I can think of now, because I watched this week, the season finale of Rick and Morty, they were sitting there playing Minecraft, so every time I see it now, that's what I think of. So you're mining stuff to craft with, and you're crafting stuff to mine with.
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious, vicious cycle.
But yeah, so we've been playing Forza Horizon 3 a lot, trying to unlock a bunch of achievements and things. Slowly trying to figure out how to drift. I just got a new controller because my controller died. because someone's stupid dog chewed the cord.
Well, I prevented the dog from chewing the computer cord while we were recording.
And yeah, so I got a new controller for that, and I'm still annoyed that my steering wheel doesn't work with Forza Horizon 3. Works with the Crew. And then I've been messing around with the Crew because the Crew 2 is supposed to get the beta here soon, so I'm trying to unlock the achievements and stuff in the Crew 1 to get all the free cars when the Crew 2 comes out. Hoping I get into the beta of that.
There you go.
I'm surprised you don't play Star Trek Online, though. It seems like it's right up your alley.
Oh, I tend to play one game at a time.
Yeah. It's like a cross between an MMO and like an action game. Because you got to fly around the ship, but there's the away missions where you're on the ground going around. The controls on the ground are kind of iffy. A lot of people don't like them, but...
Well, I really like Guild Wars 2 because there's actually rewards for cooperative gameplay. And there's no fighting over the loot. Everybody gets to share the loot. You get your own loot. So you don't have to worry about that part.
Until you take your son on his first attempt at fighting a dragon, and he gets fabled gear.
After, well, it's not his fault.
I know, but the wife had been trying to get a set of fabled gear. She'd been fighting dragons for like a month. Every time they spawn, she would go out and fight them, and she takes him with him once. He gets a piece. He's got 3 now.
I got to fight my evil twin last night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm in the zone. This is the first time it happened to me. Apparently, they have doppelgangers in those map, and I'm just going about trying to finish an event, and all of a sudden, something spawns on me, starts killing me. Some people came. The whole place gets rushed with people, and someone was kind enough to res me. And I get up, and it's me. We're fighting the evil version of me who's trying to kill everybody.
Nice. That happened to me in EverQuest 2. There's a boss fight in a raid zone where it randomly copies players in the raid. And it copied Trueflight. And he proceeded to mow down like 2 whole groups before they realized.
Nice.
I was like, sorry.
It's not like you get a lot of control over that.
Yeah, like, it's not my fault. But yeah, they spawned with your gear and everything. So he was doing the same kind of damage that I do.
Whoops.
They're like, what the hell's going on? Oh.
Yeah, that can happen. So it was kind of... I actually got an award for it.
Nice.
For killing my evil twin.
For fighting yourself?
For fighting myself. It was just kind of cool.
I do have a picture of EverQuest 2, just a normal game glitch at one point where I met myself. There used to be a weird glitch where when you zoned out of a certain zone, it left an image of you standing at the docks. And I zoned out, went and did something, I zoned back, and I was still standing there. So I have a picture of me standing next to myself on, I think it's the docks at Thundering Steps.
The day you met yourself.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a great one there, too. I have a bunch of pictures like that.
It's always fun.
I don't really have any other video games to talk about other than Crowmaster's Arena there. You got to try that one. It's pretty fun. It's like I said, it's this game as a video game. Yeah, that game. He's playing that now.
There you go. I was playing Avengers Academy on my phone, but I ended up eventually having to stop just because you got so many characters, and then eventually the game started to bog down.
Because you got to get to a paywall. They want you to buy to advance, right?
You don't have to, it's not even buying anything because there's nothing to buy. There's no way to store your extra characters, and part of the whole mini event is to get more characters.
Maybe you have to buy storage for extra characters.
They didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
They didn't even have
That's
that
the way
option.
a couple of the games I play are.
So it just got to be the point is the game was constantly crashing because there were too many players on the area that spawned.
Gotcha.
It's like frustrating.
I've been playing.
So I just uninstalled it.
Oops. I don't even know the name of that one. I've been playing the Star Trek. I think it's Timelines. I was trying to bring it up so I could see the name.
And I'm playing Bubble Witch, but that's just a simple game.
Come on.
I
Yeah,
love the
Star
Bubble
Trek
games.
Timelines. It's not that great of a game, but it's fun.
That's the point. That's the point is to have fun.
It's probably cross promotion for the new Star Trek show, but it's basically all the different Star Trek shows, movies, everything combined. There's like a rip in the space-time continuum, so people are showing up from all the different timelines, all the different eras.
They must get very confused after
You
a while.
can start recruiting them to your ship to go around and you're trying to fix all of these time anomalies. And Q's, it's so bad that Q is getting you to help him because he can't do it.
Okay, that's scary.
And It's not a spectacular game, but it's kind of neat. You go on away missions, and you need specific crewmen for away missions, and then you have to meet certain targets, and then it kind of tells you a story as you go, whether you succeed or fail, what happens, and you have to play through every one of them multiple times though, because they like branch off in different paths. Like if you use a tactical officer to make a strategy to avoid the enemy, you branch this way. But if you use I don't know what the other guys are, the combat guys. If you use one of them to fight your way through, you branch off that way. If you use a diplomatic solutions to avoid the fight entirely, it goes off this way. And then there's different rewards depending on what path you take. So you got to play through every mission like 5 times to go through and get all the different rewards.
Wow. Well, I'll keep you busy.
And then they have space battles too, which I only have my one. Oh, I have 2 ships now. There we go.
That's pretty good graphics on that.
That's my ship. It's old Maquis Raider. It's a Valjean, I think.
You know, it just amazes me how far we've gone in computer games and then to phone games as far as graphic and gameplay is. It's just astounding.
Do something quick here. Something I know we can beat. Not that anybody's gonna be able to see, but yeah, go there.
It's like I know that person.
I'm already there. Let's just go. So here's a mission. This is an away mission. So you get to pick your people that you want. And I'll try to do something on camera so you can see what we're talking about, but... And that's my phone ringing. Right. I have no idea what that means. Go away.
You'll have to...
I don't think that was meant for me anyway. I think it was meant for my dad. She always does that. Alright, get back to where we were. Alright, so... In this case, you can look at what you need for this first mission. We need an engineer. Those are tactical icon, the guns, the medical icon here. This one's locked because you need a certain requirement. You need a success on the previous one, so that's not a big deal. And then these little Starfleet symbols mean you need a Starfleet officer. So you set your away team down here. So we're going to want an engineer. So we'll go engineers. We'll take data. And then they meet certain bonus requirements too. He's a cyberneticist and an android, which are both bonuses. We need a good tactical officer, which are all on away missions. We'll take Hugh, the human Borg guy. And then we need a good high Starfleet ranking guy, which they're all on away missions.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no, that's command is what that icon is. Then we'll take him. There, that's enough to do it. So we have everything we need but the medical. So in this case, to get by our automated defense systems, we'll have data hack them. So it's going to go through and figure out his stats versus what we needed. We succeeded easily. And then it tells you a little bit of the story on how he did that. This is a really simple mission here. So we need a... send Hugh. There we go. Send him there. Depending on who you pick, it tells you how easy or hard it's going to be too. But we're going to walk right through this one. We'll use data to do that. And if you read these, this story does play out so you can actually see what's going on. I can do this again on camera.
Yes, you do.
And then him on there. We're going to succeed. Oh, my volume's all the way down. I got to have the volume up. Because this is the best part, when you successfully complete a mission.
Nice.
Now watch me get copyright strike for that. But anyway, so that was a quick, simple mission. I was hoping to find one where I don't want to talk to you. No, I'm not doing that right now. I don't want to quit the game. I just don't want to do this right now.
Apparently you don't have an option.
Yeah,
to do
I
it
see
now.
that.
Sometimes games will just channel you into a certain action and you can't get away from it.
There we go. Well, depending on the options you pick, it changes your factions with the different races on the side here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like the Bajorans. We'll go with them. But yeah, this is our space map. These are all the different systems I can do stuff in right now.
Very cool.
I was hoping to find a quick space battle, but I know there's one over here that I can't beat with the ship I have. Well, I can beat it, but I can't get any more stars. And here we'll fight the Borg. We'll fight a Borg scout. Got a warp there, so we weren't there. So there we go. There's us versus the Borg Scout Cube. These are our crew we're going to use because they give us bonuses. Always. The sound effects are what make the game.
Awesome.
Whenever you use a crewman, they say a quote from that crewman too. Usually I have Picard, but he's on an away mission right now. Try to outmaneuver this thing. There we go. He gives me a bonus to my attack. Regenerates my shield, so I shouldn't even take any damage. Go 7. One bar is the shield, one bar is your hull. We're chewing their hull up right now. Almost got him. I have to need a bigger ship because I have to beat this in a certain amount of time to get it more stars. As with any phone game, you always have to get 3 stars.
Yep.
Because we had 2. We need to beat it in 20 seconds to get another one. But that's the one I've been playing most.
Looks like fun.
And there's a Final Fantasy one too I play off and on. And that's pretty much it for games. I've been doing mostly board games. Gotta get back into playing Arcadia Quest. We want to get a set day going to play through campaigns because we want to try getting into some of these dragons that my wife painted and did an awesome job on.
Let me know.
And this, you still have to play this. I tried to get you to play this one day. I didn't take it with us because I don't think it's very fun with only 2 people.
Yeah.
I did a video on Soul a while back. Soul's an amazing looking game. There's a ton of cool components. All this stuff. The board. The board is actually a giant sun going supernova.
Yeah, I remember we
Cool.
talked about this game before.
Yep. It was a while back we talked about it, and I actually got it finally and played a few times, and I love it. There's a ton of components. And it just looks awesome, too, when you're playing it. But not really anything you can kind of show without getting everything out, and I don't want to do that, but it's a fun game.
It's very cool.
Definitely want to play that one more. And we had a couple games on the computer. New stuff coming out. Trying not to do as many Kickstarters because I noticed looking back at some of the old shows, we did an awful lot of Kickstarter stuff. And then they don't come out forever. But
Well, I haven't been allowed to look at one of these Kickstarters in advance because he wants my reaction to it.
yeah, we'll do that one last.
Yeah, of course.
So the first one, this one actually just started. Stupid clock. I hate that thing. I bet it's coming up too. Not bad, but yeah, I'm sure you can hear it. I hate that clock. And it's always wrong, so whatever hour it chimes isn't what time it is.
Well, it's past the hour of that, too.
Yep. It's a terrible clock. Anyway, first one just started this week or last week. It's from Rooster Teeth, the guys over there. It's a RWBY Combat Ready board game. I actually saw a commercial. I thought it was a spoof thing. It turned out to be real. I think it was that video you just scrolled by there. And, oh no, that's the how to play one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found this video and I thought it was a joke at first, and it turned out to be a real thing. So I had to back it because I like the show. My daughter loves the show.
And I've been disowned because I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'm being glared at right now.
I was afraid when it first started. I thought it might be a little too, I don't know, kiddie, childish. And then I think it was the 3rd season. Everything took a really, really dark turn. And it even got me interested more after that. So
I said I'll go back and try it. I'm still being glared at.
it's the show that coined the phrase, "It's also a gun."
Okay, any show that coins that phrase has got to be a good one.
Yeah, every weapon in there, all their melee weapons also tend to be also firearms, so it's kind of entertaining. I mean, the one girl has gauntlets that she wears that are shotguns.
Yes, I remember that.
Ruby has a giant scythe that turns into a sniper rifle.
Which is probably why the phrase got, it's also a gun.
Yep.
Yeah, thought so.
And then, I'm trying to think of... Weiss's isn't actually a gun. She has a sword that has like a revolver clip built in it, but it uses different color, basically magic. They call it dust, depending on which color it is. It does different things. Of course, the one those guys did build, we saw a show on YouTube the other day where they actually built her sword in real life, and it actually did shoot stuff. So,
Nice.
and then Blake has, I don't know what hers are called. She has these weird pistol-like things that also have a sword blade in them that are also attached to like ropes, ribbons. So she swings them around, and it's pretty awesome. But anyway, the board game is pretty representative of the show from what I've seen. You basically have a big bad villain, and they have a little scheme they're trying to complete, and minions come along with them. And one person, whoever's basically the active turn, is fighting off against the villain, and the other guys are supporting them as well as taking out the minions. And then when certain things happen, they switch places. So somebody else will go, they call it center stage, is where the main fight's taking. They'll switch back and forth of who's center stage fighting the boss and who's out in the sidelines supporting. And then they keep unlocking new characters they're adding. So they added, it's going to be terrible because I can't remember his name. Who's the guy with the hat? Roman.
Okay.
Yep. So Roman Torchwick's the main character, and he's got a bunch of Grimm guys with him. They added Adam and a bunch of the White Fang. And I believe they just unlocked... Oh, here they are. I got them all up. They unlocked Cinder, so she's going to be in there with a whole group of stuff of her own. And I think there's 2 more on the way. Oh, Neo. How did I forget about Neo? Neo's on the way. She's pretty much going to be unlocked probably by the end of the day. And then there's the Emerald Mercury sub-bosses coming up later. And then they're going to add Penny as a 5th hero. Which I really want to see them do a whole team as maybe an expansion pack. Because the good guys, basically, you can play as Team RWBY. Or Penny if she gets unlocked. I want to see Team Juniper. And you get bonus points if you complete the scenario and Pyrrha's still alive. I almost made her spit out her food. My daughter's a big fan of the show, so she got that. But, yeah, it just looks like a really cool game. The artwork's very reminiscent of the show, obviously. They did it's a slightly different style for the artwork in the game than the show, and I think Ruby looks weird for some reason. I can find a good picture of her in the artwork stuff in here. Everybody else looks okay, but for some reason her character looks strange in the choice of the artwork. Well, she's on the center of the box.
Yeah.
She just looks odd. I don't know, it's off. But other than that, yeah, it looks really cool, and I can't wait to see more of that. They have a demo version they've been taking to the cons with them, and it's going to be a while. I think it's not even expected to deliver until next year, so that's the downside with Kickstarters, which is why I'm trying not to do too many anymore as far as covering on the show, because, yeah, it's a year or so before, July 2018.
So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, so by then... some of the games we did, like Soul. We talked about Soul when I first did the Kickstarter, then we talked about it after. I had an interview with the guys. It was almost a year later before I actually got the game. And then, like most people, I'd even forgotten about it by then. So. Anyway, though, that one looks cool. And they have figures for the main characters, too. And they're going to... One of the unlocks is figures for the bosses, which I'm pretty sure they're going to hit.
Considering there's 23 days left and...
Yeah, looking at the way they're going right now, plus what their stretch goal values are, I'm pretty sure they're going to hit all of them without much of a problem. The next one on here I had was an interesting one. Unstable Unicorns. I found this one on accident. I don't even know how. And it's very reminiscent of the artwork and style of Exploding Kittens and Bears vs. Babies, but it's not. It's a different artist. And you're basically raising an army of weird, strange unicorns. And there are some very weird types in here.
I like how it was funded within an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah. The only thing I haven't decided is I bought just the base game, but they did have expansion packs. Yeah, they have a Not Safe for Work expansion pack. I learned my lesson with those. I never found anything that great about them, so I stopped buying them. Usually it's just crude stuff just for the fact of being crude. At least in the several games that I did get them in. So I didn't bother with them. There's an Apocalypse pack. There's Rainbow Sprinkles pack. And a Dragons pack. Those 3 look pretty cool, but they're kind of pricey for 27 cards, like booster packs. So I haven't decided on those yet, but I did get the base game.
Very cool.
It's an interesting game. It has a lot of things that remind me of Exploding Kittens. I'm not sure how the gameplay is going to be. I'll have to look more into that, but it's one of those I backed just to have on the shelf.
We'll have to give it a try when it comes in, which looks like it'll be in, I don't know, December or February, depending on when we're looking at.
Here somewhere. There you got me looking.
Okay.
All the way at the bottom. There we go. February 2018. Nope. Oh, their different levels are backed at different times. So.
Right.
Oh no! Depending on when you pledge, they're going to be at different times as well. They have like first wave, second wave, third wave.
So it looks like the last one is coming out in February of 2018.
Yeah, so I'll have it by then. I'm not logged. Oh, I am logged in. Mine says February, so yeah, I must have been late. I was looking what one I specifically backed, and it's
Gotcha.
it's February. So, and then onto the final one, which you're just gonna crack up. I don't even know how I found this game.
All right.
Somebody sent me a link to it, and it sounds so off the wall and screwy that I might just have to pick it up just to have. So you can open the tab now. She still hasn't managed to pronounce it correctly, because as soon as you pronounce it right, you'll know what it is. This one is
oh dear.
Consenticle. It's a card game of human-alien intimacy.
Oh my word.
And one person plays the human, one person plays the alien, and you're basically playing various cards to try to get them to hook up. And it's funny as hell. It's all done very tastefully, too. That's the best part. It's got some great artwork, but nothing that's crude or bad. I think the worst thing is there's a picture of somebody kissing an alien or licking them. There's no nudity, none of that stuff, so it's all done tastefully. It's something you can play in public.
Oh, nice. And if you back up to 200 level, you get your own tentacle.
Yeah, you get your own tentacle.
Wow.
But it's just an entertaining game. It looks hysterical, and I can't wait to see it. They have a couple how to play quick things. I haven't actually played, obviously, but
interesting. There's different modes based on consent. There's in practice consent challenge, soul windows, and agents of consent.
Uh-huh.
This is a little.
They have a section about is the game not safe for work too. It says it depends on where you work.
Yeah.
They said the worst thing in the game is a card that's called Penetrate.
Oh dear.
Other than that, it says it's mostly embarrassment and giggling.
Oh dear.
It looks hysterical. I totally. It's one of them I may just have to get just to have on the shelf.
Apparently, there's going to be a comic book.
Why not?
But
the artwork is great. I love whoever they had for an artist on there.
It's a new stretch goal.
Oh, that's why I hadn't seen that one yet.
It's a new stretch goal. You can get a comic book if they reach that stretch goal.
But it's going to be right up there with like my copy of Clusterfuck, which I have. I don't even know where that went. It's on a shelf somewhere. It's a game I'll probably never play, but it's just hysterical to have sitting on the shelf.
Okay.
For those who don't know, that one's actually made by the Cards Against Humanity guys. It's one of their Christmas jokes. They do every year some weird thing for Christmas. That year they came up with a game called Clusterfuck. Never played it. Opened it a few times, flipped through the cards. They're hysterical, but again, it's on the shelf. Probably never be played. This one's probably going to go there too, but I might get it just to look at the artwork. It's entertaining.
It's a little strange. It's a little strange.
It cracked me up. I couldn't resist.
Well, yeah, and you also wanted to see how I would react to it.
That too. On other stuff I should be getting soon. Let's see. Mystic Scrolls should be in the mail now. Or probably by next week I should have that. That's the one we talked about a long time ago. Where you basically rolling dice trying to match up symbols on the dice to cast the spells. And it's a speed game because you want to roll the dice, you grab new ones to replace the ones you spend and so on. And that's supposed to be coming. That should be here anytime. Again, that's another one of the Kickstarter ones we talked about, and then it's been forever.
Well, I'm waiting for my dice.
Half-Seas dice should be anytime, probably by the end of the month, I think.
Because I got all excited about the dice.
Yep, I ordered some Half-Seas dice too. Let me double check the date on those. I used to have a thing that listed the dates when all of these were coming, but they changed so much I never kept it up.
Yeah, it did. They ended up with some delays, some in production. They had a house fire.
Yeah, that's what really backed them up, was the fire.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. It was a good thing, though, that everybody was safe. That's the bottom line, in which everyone, I'm sure, is grateful for.
Oh, wait right there. Word has it, production will complete at the end of this month, so late November they should be in your hands.
Cool. So I will have a whole bunch of dice. And I have a thing for dice. I like dice. I like one of my favorite sets of dice that the instead of rolling a 1, you can roll a dough.
Nice.
I like it.
Well, I have to show you this one that it's on there. This is something I backed. I didn't know you're so into dice, or I would have had you in on this. It's a dice bolt in the shape of like a dragon.
Oh, cool.
And they light up. And then there's the actual dice are really cool too. I don't know if they show
I love dice.
close-ups in here. They're precision machine dice. They actually have squared off corners. Not the dice itself, but like the edges, the long edges, have a beveled edge to them. They're just really cool. And
they glow in the dark dice.
Yep, they say they have glow in the dark sets. They have a bunch of different colors. Those are actually play mats they had. Shirts. Yeah, they had a bunch of junk in here. But where's the? I thought they had better pictures of the vaults.
Aw. Well, if you see another one, I like dice.
There's the board to it. But yeah, so I backed those. That was another one that's coming soon. They got all the circuit boards finalized now. There's the actual molds. Thought there were more pictures of them, but they're Dragon Forged LED dice ball. I think you can still pre-order those. Just the Kickstarter's over. Those are what the samples look like. Cool. But they're coming in different translucent plastics, and then they have the LEDs that go on, so they actually light up. There's the sample LED boards.
I'll have to look at that up.
So they're gonna look cool. I got I think I got green. I can't remember what set I eventually went with. I think it was a translucent green. I'm cheap. Well, not cheap. I'm poor. That's the best way to put it. I would love to buy all of them, but I can't. So I can only buy one. Same with the Halvesies dice. As much as I would love to buy a bunch of different ones, I only bought one set. But I already have. I have a set they sent me as well somewhere. I thought it was up on the shelf.
Oh yeah, I try to. I have to step on myself because I can't afford to buy all of them. I did buy a bunch of different colors, but
yeah, I bought one set of those. I bought one set of these. I kind of spread it around. What else did I have on here? How Long should be shipping anytime now. That's a. It was an abstract game where you have the little dragons, and they have this yin yang board. I can't remember what it's called. And you move these tiles around it, and depending on where you land is the direction your dragon turns. So it's got strategy in it, and you're trying to run into the other dragon, and you bite them basically and deal damage. And as you deal enough damage, you take body parts away. And if you get down to just their head, you win.
And
it's up to 4 players. Kind of the stylized art reminds me of Sorrow. But I got the deluxe version with the wooden tokens and things. So looking forward to that. That should be shipping anytime now. They had a small delay because they got these foam playmats that are like neoprene, like a mouse pad. And apparently the colors were really washed out on them. So they redid them and got a new, reprinted them with new colors, and they're much brighter now. So that was a delay. Let's see.
All right.
And then what other ones were on here that are coming soon? Sword Art Online was another one I got, which is still an interesting game. I've heard mixed reviews about that one. It's a card game where you're a dice game where you're basically fighting your way up Minecraft. And it comes in a tiny box. I was expecting it to be bigger after I saw everything that was there, but it's actually a ridiculously small box for what it is. But I'm curious to see how that one turns out. Like I said, I've heard mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people didn't. It's not meant to be a full game. It's a small filler game to take some time. And
Well, I like the original Art Online. The newer version of the anime that they have out, I'm not as big of a fan on.
well, that's what this is based on, just the original. They, I wasn't a big fan of Elfheim Online or Gun Gale or. Although at the very end, when the second half of season 2, they went back to SAO, and that was all right. I think they had a great idea, and I'm going to get hate from anime fans out there. I think they had a great idea with Sword Art Online, and I love the concept. But then they rushed through what could have been a 6 or 7 season long show in the first half of the first season. And then they realized it got popular, and then they tried to keep making it go on after that, and I just didn't much care for the extras. I watched them all, multiple times even, but that first half of the first season was the part I liked.
It was very good. Very, very good.
And I watch it in English dub. So now you can beat me up for it.
That's okay. That's how I watch it.
See?
I have a hard time tracking if I'm trying to pay attention to both the language and the subtitles in the action. I'm going to miss something. So yes, excuse me. I watch English dub. I don't do the subtitles.
Me too. I've only watched like one show in the original Japanese, and that's because they didn't do a dub of it. Even Attack on Titan Season 2, I waited till the entire thing was in English before I watched it.
It's just not my thing. It's just...
Yeah. Well, I usually watch I have two screens on my computer. I usually watch TV on one screen while I play games or something on the other screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not paying that much attention. I look, I watch and things, but I can't focus enough to read subtitles and watch it at the same time.
I'm the same thing. I like to have something I can do. I like multitasking. I am rarely just doing one thing at once. So to have a show where I have to pay attention to the subtitles on is just not my thing. I have it for entertainment and relaxment in the background. Relaxing.
Relaxment.
Apparently I'm making up words today.
And then the other two big ones on my list there are Darkness Sabotage, which I can almost say with solid assurity now that will not be out before 2018. Sorry, Des, if you're still rushing for that, I don't see it happening, but I'm okay with it being delayed. It looks like an amazing game. I've been talking about that for a long, long time. Actually, when it first got posted on Kickstarter, there was this big ordeal with it. That's actually what drew my attention to it. And since then, it's shaped up to be a really nice campaign. He has gone a couple times where he kind of went silent for months at a time, and people are like, what's going on? And hopefully that's done. He seems to want to communicate more often now. He's got a different company helping him with the actual production side of things. They had to change a few things, like originally let's see, all the artwork's changed on the page already. The miniatures, the different types used to all be different colors, which was really cool for people who don't want to paint them. But now they're all the same, which bugged me at first, but I can get over it. Yeah, see there, they're all different in colors.
Right.
It was done to save money in production, which I can understand. So, a lot of cool stuff in that game. I can't wait to get my hands on that. Hopefully, it was... we talked about it a while ago. He was going to send me a early prototype so I could actually check it out, play it, and do a review. I'm hoping that's still on the table. It's been a while, and now things have changed hands a couple times. That other company's involved, so I don't know if he still can or if he's going to, but if he does, that'd be awesome. And can't wait to check that out. But overall, that looks like a cool game, but
It does, I remember.
definitely going to be delayed from
Talking
the
about it.
original estimates, which is fine, especially since they're adding stuff. They've changed a few things. The only change that I still do not like and can't do anything about, but there's a way down in the add-ons, I think, there was a thing for Orion. And the original artwork and pitch, the what do they call them, the preliminary sketch there of him was a awesome, just gigantic guy in a mech suit. Reminded me of Aliens. The big mech suit with the miniguns on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've since, it should be near there somewhere. Keep going now. Because he was one of the add-on characters. And they revamped him to be more in line with the other heroes, which I can understand. But at the same time, they also made him, just in my opinion, not as cool. He's supposed to be a gladiator fighter, so they gave him... He still has an armored suit with the big guns. Yeah, that was the original artwork.
That looks cool.
Let me bring up... And he still looks fine. I'm sure he's going to play fine in the game. The only complaint was that for the price that they charged for him, I was expecting that guy on an oversized base. And it does say on there that it's initial concept art, not a subject to change. Oh, he changed too. That's the new guy. That's what he looks like now. I mean, that's artwork. It's not the actual model, but...
Right. It does look markedly different. It's still pretty cool looking.
I mean, he's got some armor plating. He's got the jump jets on his back, and he's got the miniguns. But he's missing the whole huge mech on the oversized base. And
yeah, I mean, it's more of an armored suit than a mech.
yeah. I could see the new Orion could be more of a character in the game. He fits with it better. That guy should have been like as he is, an add-on that you had to pay extra for. He should have had the, beastly stats and things. He could have been a special character, but he has to have some kind of limitation to compensate. But that was the other guy they changed. Him on the original artwork page there was the one that looked like a savage guy with a club over his shoulder. Mm-hmm. People didn't much care for that, so they upgraded him. Now he kind of reminds me of an elite from Halo, which is cool. I'm okay with that artwork change on that because while he was supposed to be this weird alien race, he was supposed to be one of the pirates, one of the bounty hunter type things, and he looked more in the other one like he's carrying around a club. He just didn't give you that.
He looked more prehistoric.
Yeah, tribal. He gave you that alien feel, which is cool, but not the sci-fi feel, which fits with everything else. So the new one's much more sci-fi themed. I thought there was an actual picture of them in here, but might have been on the other site. That was one thing they went for a while. They started posting updates to Facebook and not to the campaign, which really annoyed people.
That doesn't really make much sense either.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand having it on Facebook, but you'd want to include it on the
Yeah, they only
campaign.
posted it on the campaign when they had like a big... There's the actual model. When they had a big update or something, they would post that. But other than that, all the little updates went straight to Facebook. And it was annoying me because I don't use Facebook, so I had to go there to find updates and pictures and things. But yeah, other than that guy, everything else about the project I've liked so far. Dez has been pretty cool about it, other than going silent for a little while there, but that's back on track. That's pretty much it for those. There's a couple other campaigns I'm watching, but I don't want to get into too much. Like I said, I'm trying to get out of Kickstarter stuff on a whole. Oh, excuse me. I'll still back them. I just don't want to talk about them too much on the show because it's far too long between campaigns and
the
actual game. Yeah. It's one thing when I get somebody to come on the show and do an interview. Sure, we'll talk about it, launch a campaign or whatever. But even like Dez with that game wants to come on and do a video, but he doesn't want to, or an interview, but doesn't want to do it until the game end closer towards when the game's actually going to fulfill to drum up interest in it.
Which makes sense.
Which makes a lot of sense to me. So.
On the flip side, though, mentioning a few Kickstarters can help get.
Yeah, I try to get some people to
on.
the ones that I'm interested in or things that I think look cool that they might be interested in. I just don't want to focus a whole show on it like we have in the past.
That makes sense.
Now that we just spent 20 minutes talking about Kickstarters.
But we spent a lot more time talking about the games we actually play.
We did. The models in that game look amazing, though.
They really, really do.
Kelly's going to have fun painting them.
I think she might curse you a little bit first. I mean, really, if the difference is that they changed the color to make it more economical to produce them, that's not a bad change.
No, I'm fine with that one. And they are keeping the heroes are going to be a slightly different color than the enemies, too, which was my big concern.
There we go. That makes it a
as
little
long as they're slightly different. Like Arcadia Quest, when you get that, all the hero miniatures are like a light gray and the bad guys are a dark gray. So even if you don't paint them, you can still tell the difference.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's
the one that's major an issue. As long as the good guys and bad guys are separate enough that you can tell. Because not everybody paints.
No. Not everybody has someone that'll do the painting for them either.
Yeah. Well, worst comes to worst, if I really wanted to, I could always go back and prime them in the different colors.
This is true.
I thought about that too.
She might curse you out less or more. I don't know.
She painted, I don't know if you've seen them all. She's painted all of this set.
I've seen some of the ones that
She
she's painted.
painted all of this set now.
Really incredible work on those miniatures. I mean, just amazing.
She painted all the dragons now, too.
Amazing, amazing work. In fact, last time I stopped by, I brought a bunch of paintbrushes for her.
I have to actually put up a picture of the dragons. I think I showed them before, but I can get it without knocking everything over.
They turn the camera
this
off, so you do that later.
Well, yeah, but I'm showing you.
There we go.
He's actually not one of the better ones. The ice
He's
ones.
still incredible.
The ice one's the one that came out awesome. But I'll put pictures in the video here about her dragons.
Got a lot more patience than I would for something
The
like
problem
this.
that pissed us both off was my clear coat for some reason has like it made them shiny, like a gloss coat, and it's not. It's flat. I specifically bought the flat so it wouldn't do that.
And it did it anyway.
And it did it anyway. He's a fun dragon, by the way. We got to get back into playing Arcadia Quest so you can see the full thing of the dragons. He's
Gotcha.
he's the most obnoxious one, the Chaos
Dragon.
Yeah, when he hits somebody, he has a chance, or I'm not sure what the exact way is, but he puts these Chaos tokens on them, and when your guild gets 5 or more Chaos tokens, it swaps everybody's equipment. You basically take your character and you switch them to the next spot over on the board. So, like, all of a sudden your archer has all your magic spells, and your mage has all your swords, and your knight has all the bow and arrows. And you're like, oh,
not good.
And then you can rest and swap everything back, but it wastes a turn, and in that time you gain a couple more tokens, and you're that much closer to swapping again.
That's kind of one of those catch-22s.
Yeah, and he randomly teleports people around the board. There's like chaos portals that he teleports you to.
Nice.
The other one that's really fun is the Ice Dragon. He freezes people. He'll freeze specific items so you can't use them again until you thaw them out. And he puts these little blocks of ice that either block line of sight, or they can actually encase your characters in, and you have to break your way out of them by fighting. You have to actually do damage to the ice and shatter it.
Nice challenge.
Yep. And then the fire one, the fire of all of them is my most favorite to play, because his goal is basically to burn the city down. And he shoots these little I don't know what they are, eggs or whatever they are. There's these little fire bombs basically all over the town, and they'll explode, and they spread fire, and you have to run your guys around and put things out. If he manages to burn down all of the spawn points or all the buildings on the map there, then he wins.
There you go.
So you have to keep putting the fires out, but meanwhile you're trying to fight him, and the fires, the way they are, is they like spread and explode. So they build up tokens. When they get to a certain amount of tokens, they explode.
Nice. Because explosions in games are always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little upset when I first got those, because all 4 now, the dragons had the exact same scenario for 1 and 2. You always have to go around, man the harpoons, and shoot them down. Then once they're on the ground, then you actually get to fight him, and the map's set up the same. But because of the way, the first part is always the same. But because of the way the dragons are different, the second part is completely different depending on which one you're fighting.
Right.
The poison dragon's the other one. He lays these little things that infect people, and they randomly start taking damage until you heal them.
Yeah, poison is always a fun little aspect to add into games.
He's the one that has eggs. He lays eggs. And like fumes come off the eggs. It's bad.
Very much so.
But yeah, I want to get back into playing that some more. I have a bunch of games we haven't actually played with more people. I want to play Firefly with you.
Yes. That's another thing where we have to have a day where
It's like my
people wanna
favorite
play it
game
alongside.
still. I've got a couple others that are getting up there, but that's like my favorite game, and we never get to play it.
I still remember seeing it and saying that you had to have it.
Yep. It was a good choice.
Yep.
It was one I always wanted. I just didn't have the money to buy. And then you bought me the base game, and then I bought everything else for it.
Yes.
This is another one. Mechs vs. Minions. This is another one I want to play. We need 4 people, though. Me and my son played it with 2, and we got to the 3rd mission, I think. We stopped. We didn't actually lose it, but we stopped playing at that one. Did we lose that one, or did we not play that one? Yeah, we didn't play that one. So we got to the 3rd one. That was a rough one. We looked at it. We didn't play. But we need more people. That's a really cool game. I don't know if you've even seen that one.
Which one?
Mechs vs. Minions?
Maybe?
I might have to turn the camera back on. It's this giant box.
Oh dear.
It's one of the largest games I think I've ever owned. I gotta dig it out.
Dun dun dun. Don't drop anything.
Not drop it on my head.
Yeah, dropping on your head will not improve your head any.
Wow.
That is a big box.
Heavy too.
Let me do it like this.
It's still fun. The box is huge.
The box is
I don't know if it's gonna fit.
leaking
I'm gonna have to move stuff.
Dun dun dun.
It's ginormous.
Huge.
And yeah, so in here, I did a whole review on this, so everybody's seen it. I actually have extra sleeves for the missions that we have not opened yet, because we guys still have not played all the way through it yet. These trays that come with it are amazing.
That is excellent.
That's actually not the top tray. This is supposed to be the top tray. Yeah, the insert they made for it is just outright awesome. And then these little slots are actually made so you can put any of the minion guys in any of the slots, so you don't have to remember which ones they went in.
Oh, excellent.
The markers, yeah, these are all actual metal coins that come in here.
Lovely.
And they even marked the runes on there so you know which one to put where when you put them away. And these are the crystals. Little crystal pieces
Those
that
are
actually
pretty.
fit on the bases.
These ones are painted,
Yep, the actual player characters are pre-painted.
which I'm sure there's some gratitude about.
We'll get them right there. And if you want to see more about this, of course, you can always check out the full review video. I like this guy.
You would. He's riding a giant bomb.
Yep. I think Quentin played one of these two. I think he was the shark guy.
His shark guys are cool.
You're the shark guy or that guy? Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know their names. I feel terrible. There are characters from League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends. I play Dota. Ooh. So I don't know their exact names. Sue me. And then there's the first one. There is the tutorial guide, which basically shows you how to play. The second one is your full rule book, which explains all the advanced stuff. And then you have a little flyer that came with it, a cheat sheet, kind of shows you what all the different things are. And then these are the actual missions. And there's a whole ton of these. There's 12 or 13 in here. And they come in sealed envelopes. And then you unseal it. And each one of these has a rule book in there that explains. This is the first one, I think. Yeah, the first one. So I don't care if I show you anything. No spoilers. It's the first one. So we got the rule book there that tells you how the scenario is set up, how to play it, any special rules for the scenario. And then they also have in here a handful of cards. These ones are schematics. There's one for each of the characters. And they're just special abilities that the guys can do at certain points throughout the game.
Cool.
There's actually a kill marker, and as it goes up, you get these little rings. When you get to the number that's on the back there, you can activate those abilities, and then you get them. I think most of them are one use for the game. But every mission has a little envelope like that. Some of them have new ones of these. Some have damage cards in there, and just different stuff to add on to the game. So it's kind of, in that respect, like a legacy game, but not so much, because you don't actually destroy anything. But it's really neat to see the surprises. Like the last couple envelopes aren't even open yet. The seals are still because we don't know what's in them. And yeah, the insert is the big thing with this game. It keeps going too. Every time you pull out a tray, there's another tray underneath. I think there's another one under. No, that's the bottom tray, but there is stuff underneath that. And then these are your player boards. And as you play the game, you're going to program your different ability cards that you get in here, and you always run the program from 1 to 6. So no matter what you have filled in there, you're going to do them in order.
Right.
So you could have a great plan set up where I'm going to take a couple steps forward, and then I'm going to fire a weapon, and then I'm going to turn, and I'm going to do this, and then you get a damage card in here that takes out your turn.
Oh no.
So suddenly you're instead of going where you wanted to and turning the way you want, now all of a sudden you're running into a wall. And that messes up everything past that, because now you're starting to fire weapons at the wall where they don't do anything, and so on. And
Makes it difficult.
and then below here is all our cards and things. The timer's really cool.
Oh, that's a nice timer.
And you can play with or without the timer. I think the timer is a cool aspect to the game because you draw what cards you're going to program your mech with on a draft system. So you lift out, I think there's 5 cards out there, and then you're going to draft the card you want. Well, the thing that makes it really neat is you can sit there if you want and take the time and say, all right, well, if I take this card, then it's going to make me turn, make me do this, I'm going to be able to shoot that. But if I take this card, then I could do this. And you could sit there and think about every single card and what you want to do with it, and it would take forever. So, to compensate, they give you a timer, and you only have till that timer's gone. If you haven't decided on your cards, everybody at the table, by the time the timer runs out, you just get random cards.
Oh, dear.
And then in our big box here is actually a boss who's hidden in the little sealed box. But yeah, that's an awesome game. I want to.
Take another day and play
I want to take a day and play that one. We can play through multiple ones. That one doesn't take so long. It's just gigantic. And it weighs a ton too.
Alright.
Yeah. Well, I think that's everything.
Okay.
Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Game On. As always, feel free to contact us with any questions, comments, or suggestions. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can reach me by my email at trueflight_EQ2@yahoo.com or by any of the contact info at the beginning of the show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a few weeks for the next episode. Until then, have fun and game on.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.